Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of Kicking It with LG with the one and only Langston Galloway. How we doing, LG?
Everything is good, bro. Everything is good. Glad to be back on. Glad to give you guys another episode. And let's jump right into it. I'm excited about this episode. There's a lot to talk about. And now I get to talk about some shoes today. Get to talk about some shoes. So I'm excited.
Some kicks, yes, sir. So obviously the brand ethics. I have a lot of questions, but before we get into that, just kind of talk about the brand a little bit, kind of the backstory, how it started.
Yeah. So the backstory really is simple. It's simple. It's a lot of moving pieces, but it's simple. I really wanted to create my own sneaker. Obviously, from the sense of me wearing the different brands, starting out the bigger brands, and then kind of transition to a smaller brand and in the latter part of my career. And then I got to a point where I was like, I wanted to create something on my own and wanted to do something that really be, not saying inspirational, but more so just like something that can change the trajectory of like what I was doing. And so when I started out the brand and started thinking about what I wanted to do, I was like, hey, look, let me just create my own shoe. I wasn't even thinking about a brand per se. I just wanted to create my own shoe. And I think that's where, it all came from. Like, my work ethic is undeniable. I think that I've worked my butt off to get to this point in my career. And, it's been a lot of like, ups and downs throughout my career, but to be where I'm at now, a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice has been put into it. And that's what ethics is. That's what comes down to it. And, at the end of the day, I lay my hat on that every single time. So to be able to say, I created a shoe for myself more so than, what I was creating at the beginning, that's kind of how ethics was transitioned to begin. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy accomplishment. Then kind of like thinking back, what was like the main thing that sparked like, hey, I might want to start my own sneaker brand.
Most of the shoes that I would say when I was in the league at the time was more on the scale of like mids to lows. The low cuts were kind of like coming into like a bigger transition at the time. And not saying that was a long time ago or anything like that, but just saying
Right,
like,
yeah.
like you had Kyrie had just came out with his shoes, Kobe was coming out with his shoes, KD, everything was kind of like a mid. And so
Yeah.
I remember when Kobe got hurt, that's when initially like triggered something in my mind where I was like, man, like, I love like, this shoe, like it's a low cut,
Mhm.
it's light, it's something that can really transition to like, what, a guy like myself, like I'm only 6'2", 200
Yeah.
pounds. Like I want to be light on the court. I want to be able to move my feet, be able to get in front of guys, on the defensive end, and then, on the offensive end, want to fly around, get to my spots, raise up, knock down shots, get down, get in the paint, cause havoc.
Yeah.
So that was something that I was like, really looking forward to, from a brand perspective with a lot of shoes. And I think that at the
Mhm.
time it was kind of like a mix. It was like in between trying to figure it all out. And so that's really where the inspiration came from. Like, a lot of shoes that I was grown up on. Like, my favorite shoe of all time is the Jordan 13 He Got Games. Like that's my favorite shoe. Like I remember the quality, the material that was in the shoe, and
Mm.
then it was just like a shoe that like, it embodied like, a movie. And so
Yeah.
I was like, man, like, when you put on this shoe, you feel like you're in the movie. You feel like that you're that character. And so that's really was something that made me like want to be, into sneakers. And so from then
Yeah.
on, I've always been into sneakers and always just found ways to like, hey, put my hands on the sneakers and then try to find a way to
Yeah.
make it make sense.
What's like your most memorable pair of Jordans you have right now?
Okay, yeah. So I'll give you a story about my most memorable shoe. Obviously, like I said, the He Got Games is my favorite of all time, 13s. But Yeah, now we were at I was let's see, it was the Jordan 7. Um and so thinking back to that night to give you the full story, trying to keep it short but sweet, right? So went out that night and obviously in college and
Yeah.
it's probably like 1:30 at the time, maybe two, somewhere around that time. And I was like, yo, let's just pass by the sneaker store just in case. Just to make sure, like, there isn't a line because obviously at the time with the sneaker culture
Right.
was huge at the time. Like, people were
Yeah.
collecting in line, fights, killings,
Hmm.
everything was going on. So right,
Shout out Cool Kicks.
shout out Cookie. Boom. So go by the store. There's probably like maybe 4 or 5 people in line. So I'm like, all right, let's just stop. I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna run back to the crib. I'm gonna get 2 chairs, get some blankets because I'm in Philadelphia at the time, so it's a little colder
Hmm.
outside. I think it's like October, November, somewhere around that time. And so drop him off. I run back to the apartment, get the chairs, get the blankets. Mind you, I get back probably like 2:30. I think a couple more people showed up at the time. It's probably like probably 12 people in line at the time. Sit down. I'm like, man, it's cold out here. I got these blankets, but
Hmm.
obviously I got one of my partners with me, so I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
at least I'm safe. Like, it's not like I'm
Right.
by myself and like that.
Yeah. Philly's crazy. So.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, nah. So fast forward, get through the night, wake up, sun comes out, put all my chairs back in the car. And at this point, it's probably like 8:30. I think the store opens at 9, something like that. And yeah, no, we walked in the store, got the shoes, walked out. A successful mission. So yeah, definitely most memorable moment. Collecting sneakers.
Yeah.
And yeah, not definitely a story for the ages for sure, for sure.
So waiting in line, did you stay up the whole time or did you
No, no,
actually get to sleep?
I slept probably like 2 3 hours. I was like in and out, movements, people,
Yeah.
talking, different things like that.
Like there's no way there's
Yeah,
no way I'd fall
I'm not,
asleep.
I'm not that just go to sleep and like, just I'm knocked out. But it's like, I'm more conscious. Like, you could feel, and hear people
Yeah.
moving around. So
Right. Got
yeah,
that spider sense going on for
for
sure, for
sure,
sure.
for sure, for sure.
Did
Yeah, yeah.
anybody like recognize you in line just out of curiosity?
Nah,
Like
nah, not
this
really. I
outfit?
mean, I'm in college, so they
Yeah.
it's pretty reasonable to see another college
Hmm.
student, in line. They wasn't really worried about me being a
Yeah.
basketball player and nothing like that. So yeah,
So just like out of the whole, I'm assuming your collection's crazy.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
off the whole story.
Yeah. I give a little story about that as well. Keep it short. Over my career, like I said, I was with the bigger brands at the beginning, and
Hmm.
I can't even recall like how many sneaker boxes and big boxes I got at the door, throughout my career. And I'm thankful for the
Hmm.
experience, like
For sure.
obviously being
Yeah,
with the
that's
bigger
dope.
brands
That's
and my
dope. Everybody loves
career the
that.
way it's went. And so uh currently, I would say before, and I give a synopsis of why I'm saying before. I
Hmm.
probably had about 3,000, maybe 4,000 shoes.
Yo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What?
I had a lot of sneakers. Yeah,
I
and
thought
I
I was bad. Oh
yeah,
my.
I was at the time when I was in my um time in the league, I was competing against in
That's
my opinion
reasonable.
PJ. I was competing against PJ every game.
I
Like
would do the same. I have
yeah,
3,000 as well.
yeah, yeah. No, I was competing. I feel like I was like one of the guys known for sneakers, and so
Yeah.
my collection was crazy. I wear a new pair of shoes every game, maybe
Ye
even 2 pair of shoes per game, depending on how they felt in the
Mhm.
game, the comfortability level. So that was one thing, and then trying to think what else. And then obviously when I started getting up there with so many shoes, I had to
Yeah.
have my own warehouse. So I opened up my own warehouse back home in Louisiana, and so
Okay.
yeah, I put everything there, and then like I said, the synopsis of it all. I actually end up selling the whole collection. Just sold the whole collection.
Dang.
Not all of it, most of it I sold, and I don't regret it because I just don't
Mhm.
have time to wear the shoes. I'm overseas right now, currently in Turkey
Right.
playing, so it's tough. It's tough to even like keep up with them at this point.
Yeah.
So
And you got your
yeah,
own brand now too, so like
and I have my own
yeah,
brand. That's
yeah,
the
you got
top and the
3,000
bottom
more
line.
to go through.
That's the top and the bottom line. I have my own sneaker brand
Yeah.
ethics, so that's
Not a
just
lot
way
of people
bigger.
can say that.
No, 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 no. And that was another reason why, like, I made a decision to sell them. Like, I was like, there comes a point where, ethics
Right.
is the top dog in my book. And so it's like, how
Yeah.
do I, you know, the sneakers that I've already collected, how do I get rid of those, but then also fund ethics and what I have going on? And
Right.
so that was the initiative behind it all. So that definitely helped out.
Okay. So
Yep.
just kind of like when you start we'll just say from the beginning.
Yep.
What was like the inspiration like behind designing? Because I'm assuming the process is pretty lengthy,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
assuming there's a lot of like you have a lot of second thoughts about you because you want the first one to be just perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. It definitely a difficult process. Obviously, you got to find a manufacturer. You have to once you find the manufacturer, which it took, and I'll give you the whole process step by step, as short as possible.
Yeah.
It took us about 6 months to find the manufacturer, so that was a process in itself.
Dang.
Then once you find the manufacturer, then you have to go into like, all right, how do I pitch this tech pack to this manufacturer and say, hey, look, I need you to create it just like this. So that's step two. That takes another, probably 2 to 3 months, like figuring out like, how to work amongst each other and like how to create something that you want. Like, obviously
Right.
2D printed is like, obviously just writing on a piece of paper. But then once
Yeah.
you take it from 2D to 3D, where it's like, actually like, something that you hold in your hands, you're like, whoa, like this is something different. This is what wasn't what I envisioned, but this is what it came up of,
Hmm.
and so that was the next process, next step, getting prototypes, samples, different
Yeah.
things like that, putting on my feet. How do I, obviously I wear inserts,
Yeah.
and so, being a professional basketball player, a lot of athletes wear inserts, and so
Right. Yeah.
I'm also flat footed, so that was another process
Okay.
in itself too,
Yeah.
because I have to really have some arch support within
Right.
that insole. So putting that in there, you have to kind of drop the bottom a little bit so that way you can have more support. That way you're not like
For sure.
hitting the roof of the shoe. So yeah, it's a lot of detail that go into it. So it ended up being like I would probably say in all totality, probably like a 9 month process of like, from start to finding the factory to finish to like, hey, getting a shoe in my hand at my house and really seeing that was really cool to see.
I feel like that's roughly pretty quick, under a year for that just that whole process. I feel like that's not
Yeah,
bad at
yeah,
all.
yeah. And it's so funny because I talk back to a lot of guys that I was playing with in Phoenix at the time when I was there. It's so funny. I was
Yeah.
actually when I got to Phoenix, I was in the middle of the process talking about it. I was in practice a couple of days, like wearing the shoes, and they were like asking me
Hmm.
questions about it and how do you do it. And obviously, even having CP ask me questions, Book ask me
Right.
questions, because it's like those guys are like, they'll be Hall of Famers, when their career's all said and done. But
Right.
to see them interested to see the process and ask me questions was really cool because
Yeah.
obviously I love sneakers and love the process of it all, but
Yeah.
those two are like they the top dogs obviously both have their own sneakers, and so
Yeah. Because I'm
it
sure
was
around
fun.
that time, Book was probably starting on his sig as well.
Yeah,
With
he was talking
Nike.
about it. I remember we actually talked about it a couple of times in the locker room, just about like the process of what he wanted to do, what he was thinking, and how that
Hmm.
to engage with the community. And I mean, he's done a great job. I mean, just step by step, building something special with his own
Yeah.
signature shoe. So,
Now, with doing prototype, how many prototypes do you think you went through before you're like,
uh,
this is the one I feel good about this one?
it actually didn't take long. The factory was actually really good when it came to like the step by step, like following like all the pieces. It probably took maybe at the max maybe 6 to 10 prototypes.
It's good.
So it wasn't bad. It just like obviously it takes a little time, like shipping and all that. So
Right. Yeah.
they were pretty fast. They moved pretty fast, and I would say that that's probably like the best manufacturer, in my opinion, that I've
Yeah.
ever worked with, or anybody I've worked with.
Hmm.
When it comes to sneakers. So yeah, no, I give them a lot of credit.
Now that you kind of have a couple models under your belt, what's like finding a good balance between consumer and of course yourself as well, because you're wearing them in games.
Hmm.
What is it like trying to find a good balance between that?
So for me, as I go forward, I'll show you guys a little snippet of shoot three and what I'm and let me not say shoot three. Let me say ethics one. This is ethics one that I'm creating. Obviously, the shoe is made up of like what I envision, but what I'm all about.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm the only one that's obviously wearing the shoes day in day out, practice games, and we haven't gotten to the point where we were like, all right, let's release it to the public at all just yet. Like, I'm the, I'm the kind of person to wear the shoes on the court, but then I'm also to the person that is marketing the shoes. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a fine line, like, because it's like obviously my intake because I'm a professional athlete is one thing, but then when you
Yeah.
have other people, other players, other like sneaker like people that understand the goods, the ins and outs of all the sneaker, talks and stuff like
Right.
that. It's like it's difficult. It's difficult to like, just take your baby and say, hey, look, I'm gonna give it to you and you break it down and let me know what the good, bad, and different is.
Hmm.
So it's difficult. But for me, to be able to wear my own sneaker every single day, like that's all I care about. I really haven't like thought about the process of like how to make it go forward yet. But off camera, like obviously like I'm in the day in
Yeah.
day out like of like what I want to do, but like on camera it's like what I want to do is like wear my own sneaker. I could care less about wearing another brand or
Right.
anything else like that.
Yeah.
I just want to wear my own sneaker, and like that's what I've created. And I'll show you guys a little bit of like what ethics one is going to be. And
Yeah, those are
the
tough.
the, the hardest part is the outsole, obviously. Like everybody,
Hmm.
and what I'm saying, the outsole is the bottom part. That's
Yeah.
the outsole, and so you want to have good material on the bottom, have good grip. You kind of like if you kind of see the grooves within
Hmm.
the
Okay.
outsole,
It's got the
and
logo on
then
the bottom.
obviously just the material, the material to hold your shoe together when you're hooping. So
Yeah.
that's really what I was focused on, and I wanted to break down an issue. And yeah, nah, this is where I think that in my opinion, going forward, like that's all I care about is wearing my own shoe on the court. And so that's the goal. That's the goal for obviously to be able to wear or have other people wear my shoe. That's number one. But
Right.
currently, all I care about is wearing my own sneaker on the court day in day
Yeah.
out.
And a lot of people can't say that. So that's a pretty dope accomplishment, starting from waiting in sneaker lines in Philadelphia. Now you got your own sneaker company. So that's a pretty big come up. So yeah, I mean, shoot some ethics over here. I'll hoop in them in the local rec league. I'll let you know how they are.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what's the future of ethics? Like, is there more you want to branch out into with the brand, or you're just strictly keeping it sneakers for now?
Currently, I mean, I'm thinking about a ton of different things, and that's like it's more of like a athleisure wear, like being able to
Mm-hmm.
wear it on the court, off the court, the apparel. I mean, you name it. I've thought about everything in a
Yeah.
nutshell, but I really just been keeping it simple. As of right now, I'm only just focused on me, just trying to wear the
Mm-hmm.
shoes, and like I'm the best proponent to to market the
Test
shoe.
the wear tester as
I'm the
well.
wear tester. I'm the wear tester, and it's like
You're the guy.
there's a ton of other wear testers that can wear the shoes and sneaker, like people that can talk about the shoes. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like at the end of the day, I'm a professional athlete. Like I'm the top and the bottom line. Like everybody wants to
Yeah.
be and do what I do, but it's like
Right.
for me to walk on that court, that's all the marketing you need right there. And after that, it's like it's all just gains, profits. It's like so
Mm-hmm.
that's all I care about right now. Just focusing on me, and then as time presents itself to do more and bring more people in, it's going to definitely be advantageous to us for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think like you said, the athleisure wear would be pretty cool as well.
Yep. Yep.
Now, kind of rewinding the clock back a little bit, back to the 21 finals. That's when you officially debuted the shoes on court, if I'm correct, right?
Correct. Yep. You're correct.
What was the, did you like kind of have that planned out? Like, I want to make this, I guess you can't really plan it out because, playoffs and shit, but
Yeah. Yeah.
what was like, this is the time to do on the big stage?
So the step by step process was obviously was getting by the Lakers. That was number one, and I and
Yep.
I, I know I owe you a lot of conversations about that year and everything like that because I know we've
We'll
talked
say
about it
that
in the
for, we'll do that on
past.
another episode for sure.
But definitely, yeah, definitely talk about that in another episode for sure. We got a ton more coming, so y'all stay
Hmm.
tuned. But yeah, give you a little snippet. So when I was first initially wearing them, obviously I wore them throughout the whole playoffs, but I was like, look, if we get by the Lakers, I feel like we can make a run. And
Yeah.
so first round we had the Lakers. So I'm like, all right, I think we got to game six. And I was like, look, we just need to win this game. And I think that I can wear them next round.
Hmm.
But then we got to Denver and I was like, you know what? We might be good. We might better get by them, man. Because
Let's do
first
another round.
game, yeah. And I was like, all right, let's try one more round. Let's the Clipper series. I think we might be good. I was like, I'm gonna bring them out. And I was like, I didn't went this far. I might as well just wait. Let me just see. Like, and then we
Yeah.
we took care of business. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of stuff happening throughout the series, but once we got to the finals, I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is a perfect marketing
Yeah.
scheme to like break them out. And I think that
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been another player that can say this or have done this. Like to say,
Oh,
breaking out my own sneaker line, sneaker brand, my own sneaker on the court, like in the finals. Like, nobody's ever said that or
nobody
done
can
that.
say
So
that.
yeah, no, I think I have a lot of like leverage, when it comes to that, and
Yeah.
I'm just, like I said, the process of it all has been amazing. It's been a lot of like bits and pieces that have been good, bad, and different, but I've enjoyed the journey. I really enjoyed the journey.
Yeah, because I remember specifically when you first like, I guess I mean, you wore them throughout the whole playoffs, but
Yep.
in the finals they like really caught fire. I remember overtime,
Hmm.
Mikey, all those guys, all the sneaker outlet and pages and stuff, just like really caught attention to it, and I thought that was really dope, and that's what put me on notice personally.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was like because that was my first model. Had my second model come out, did okay. But this third, like, which is the third model, but it's the first ethics model one. It's
Hmm.
gonna really catch fire, and but like I said, just right now, I'm just focused on me wearing the shoes on the court,
Yeah,
and then as time presents itself, you'll definitely see it, on other people wearing the shoes. But yeah, no, just focus on me. Focus on me being the one and only, ethics promoter, ethics wear tester, and
sir.
then we're gonna go from there. Go from there.
Between this new model that's coming out, the Ethics one, and then the one that you debuted back in 21, what do you feel like that's some things that you've taken from that model and brought over to this one, and some things that you kind of did away with?
So ethics, I mean, LG one, which was ethics version one of it, it was a mid cut, so it was a little higher, in the sense of that, lowered it down. Obviously, with this, and I'm gonna keep going back and forth, like from the first to the third.
Yeah.
So first model, it was mid cut, lighter, which is so crazy to say this is lighter or probably about comparable to what shoe three is
Okay.
right now. Traction on the bottom was okay. It wasn't the best. Something that we just trying to get in the door, trying to get our feet wet with like understanding the dynamic of like how to build the right shoe and what's good for me. But when I was wearing on the court, it was great. It wasn't like a problem. Obviously, it picked up a little dust. I mean, I know
Yeah.
heard that from a lot of people, picked up some dust. But when it came to like cutting and traction and all that, it was great. And then going into shoot two, um, still was a mid slash lower shoe, but
Hmm.
a little stiff, a little stiff. I will say that
Yeah.
it wasn't the best in the sense of like moving capabilities. Like it wasn't like flexible like I wanted it to be. But it's the growing pains of building your own sneakers, and so
Yeah.
um, and then shoot three is like really flexible, really comfortable, really durable, really good traction. So yeah, nah, like I said, I'm just if this was the shoe that I had to wear the rest of my career, I would wear this shoe the rest of my
Yeah.
career. And so that's where I wanted to get to, and that's where I'm really excited about this one for sure.
Yeah, because my next like kind of a follow-up question. What I guess have you already kind of thought about what you want to do for the I guess the Ethics 2 model, or are you just
Um,
strictly focused on one right now? I guess when do you
just
start thinking about the
yeah.
next one?
I haven't really thought about ethics two yet. I really just been focused on ethics one,
Yeah.
figuring out like how to master it. That's number one. But then I've been thinking about like not in the sense of like what ethics one could be, but I just think about the capabilities of like having capsules for other other things that I'm doing, like other sports or like that's where I'm thinking more so in the line of like what ethics one can turn into, the capabilities of it, because of like the outsole, in my opinion, is probably like the best outsole we've put out. But now it's just like trying to figure out how to continue to do it, and then
Yeah.
we could change the upper, like the upper can change, and you could put
Hmm.
different uppers on it, so that way you could play different sports with it, or you could just make it a walk around. So it's like you could do a lot with it. So that's what I'm really trying to figure out, like in the sense of that capacity, more so than focusing on shoot two yet.
Kind of kind of an interesting question.
Mhm.
So with the Ethics brand, have you thought about like putting the shoe on some like younger athletes on the come up at all? Like on some just to kind of show off the shoe?
That has crossed my mind. Um, the main thing is, and this is kind of like a huge answer, but yet I'm gonna keep it simple. Because it has a lot. It's very vague. I'll say that.
Yeah.
When it comes to being vague in the sense of like answering that, it's like you want to be able to put the shoes on younger athletes that can really like
Right.
take it to a whole nother level, because obviously the sneaker industry is like blowing up right now for athletes that are younger.
Yeah.
Also too, like the NIL space is like blowing up.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I've had like a lot of athletes reach out to me like, hey, I would love to wear your shoes, love to wear your
Mhm.
shoes, like because being a smaller brand, you can do a lot more
Yeah.
because you just need that one athlete to take it to the next stratosphere, and then
Right,
you're like,
yeah.
okay, now we're blowing up. But at the same time, too, I'm just like, if I was to give it to an athlete, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be,
Yeah. Someone that can
exactly.
represent it well.
Yeah, it's like, and I know it's not gonna fall apart and like that. That's not the case at all,
Right.
because I'm wearing it on the court, so it's like that's not the case. It's more so just like
Who the
giving them,
character who's wearing it.
yeah, like who represents what I'm doing, like who
Yeah.
represents what ethics can be, and that's what I am. I'm all focused about, like finding that right athlete that represents what I'm doing, who I am. Number two, and then number three, embodies like what we're all about, and what they see about the material, and the behind the scenes of like what ethics really can be for them. So that's all I care about. And so, yeah, nah, definitely thought about it, crossed my mind. It's on my mind, every
Yeah.
day. I'm trying to figure it out, like,
Just
who,
just keeping it up there.
just trying to keep keep all the options open. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm excited about. I'm really excited about that.
Have you officially announced a release date for the Ethics one, or is that still kind of in progress right now?
In progress right now. I haven't really been like too fast to pull the trigger. I've been just really,
Hmm.
really slow with it, methodical, in the sense of like thinking every step through before I make any steps. Because in the past, I feel like I've been real, gun trigger excited about what I'm bringing to the table. But you know, to keep up with all the bigger shoe brands, it's just difficult. It's very difficult, especially from a smaller brand
Yeah.
perspective. And it's like you have to really be methodical. You got to put out the right materials, the right like just concentration to like what you're doing, because if you do
Hmm.
that, it can really blow up. And so that's what all I've been focused on, is like putting out the best material, obviously when it comes to the shoe, but also to like the colors,
Yeah.
the materials, and like what I've added, what I've taken away from the shoe. And And like I said, I've let a few different like distribution centers like touch the shoes and feel the
Yeah.
shoes and see if they like them, if they what they want to do. So that type of stuff like that can really change the
Yeah.
game and also too playing in different countries. Like I really want to like find a way to like the different countries I've played in, like Italy, and I'm in Turkey. Like that is something special to me. Like being able to sell them in different countries, that'd be amazing.
Taking them worldwide, no pun intended.
Worldwide. There you go.
So when you first thought of the ethics brand, was there anybody? I know you talked to CP and Book, but was there anybody else that you reached out to for kind of advice or just kind of some insight?
The only other guy that I talked to about ethics was probably my real close friend Stad Young, and we talked about it because he's big into sneakers as well.
Yeah.
And now his son is like on the up and coming like tour when it comes to like Nike basketball and
Hmm.
different things like that. So they've definitely given me a lot of feedback. I'll say that. I won't say what they've done, but they've given me a lot of feedback, and
Yeah.
now I'm excited. I'm really excited about like what we've talked about and what we can do going forward because he obviously has his own clubs and different things like that. But when it
Yeah.
comes to that space, but yeah, no, he's been a huge proponent of like what I've been doing.
In such a big sneaker culture and industry, what is something that you want ethics to be like? What's like your statement compared to like these other brands? Like, what do you think makes ethics different compared to like big heads like Nike, Adidas, etc.?
Ethics is different in the sense of just we're not trying to compete against the top
Right.
dog. That's not what I'm trying to do. I really just want to be able to showcase like the the intricate parts of what ethics is. It's like it's
Hmm.
who the person that wearing the shoe is what
Yeah.
they embody, and that's what I want. When you put on the shoes of ethics, you feel the comfortable level. You feel the not just in the material that we put into the shoe, but you feel like it's not just another shoe. It's something that you can obviously wear. You feel like, okay, I can go out here and be the best that I can be every single time that I step on this floor. And so that's all I care about is like, hey, when you wear this shoe, it gives you that confidence of like going on the court and being you. And that's
Yeah.
what ethics is. It's like being you. Like I've mentioned is the three things: the sacrifice, the hard work, the dedication. It's like those three things embody what ethics is. Like if you look at the logo, those three things embody it. But if you were to like break down, athletes and your day in day out people that wear the shoes and wear any shoe, it's like
Yeah.
that is what you have to embody every single day when you step on, in the space of basketball, step in the space of any other sport that you're playing, or even into the workspace. It's like you have to
Yeah.
embody all that. So that's what I want people when they put the shoe on and put the clothes on, they embody that. They feel like, hey, ethics is who I am, and it's
Mhm.
what I'm all about, and I want to go out there and put my best foot forward every time I step into whatever space I'm in.
Now, I find the ethics logo very interesting. What was
Yeah,
kind of the inspiration behind the logo?
we tried to
Did you
figure
kind of
out like
workshop a couple of things?
yeah, we tried to figure out like, hey, what could be something different that people would be resembling of like what ethics is. And it just wasn't nothing that stood out. And I think that's still to this day we're still trying to figure out like what or how to explain what ethics is because a lot of people
Yeah.
don't even understand what it is. So basically we put the original concept was my three fingers was like this, and we just made this one a little shorter and made like three different circles. So like basically if you were to look at like if you were to go on to, for example, like Google or any of those sites, right? And you type in ethics, it always comes up a big circle, and they have like different layers that go into it, and so it breaks down different peers that can kind of go into one huge circle. So I was like, all right, well, why not we just keep the three tiers, sacrifice, hard work, and dedication, and keep them all together, but just make them look like three different pillars, but it's still ethics. And so
Okay.
that's what we came up with at the time. And
Yeah, that's dope.
yeah, but it's like just trying to explain that story of like how
Right.
people can
Yeah.
understand what that is because a lot of people don't even know the
100%.
story. Yeah. So
For the ethics team, how many people do you have alongside just yourself? Is it
currently,
a pretty
currently,
big team?
currently, it's just yeah. No, it's a very small team. It's just me and my wife right now. Currently,
Oh, nothing
yeah,
better
just
than
me.
that.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, just me and the
That's all you
wife.
need. Power
That's
couple.
that's ethics. That's ethics. And obviously my designer has been a part of the team, and so that's really it. We've kept it very small. We haven't really like went out and done much with other people to say, hey, look, can you
Yeah,
help us to do this, that? So it's like we've been very small this whole time. So that's it. That's it. I know a lot of people say, oh, you could be funded and this and the third, but
but it's
we've
like
kept
if
it
you
small.
get too many people into the into the idea, it kind of starts to float away a little bit. So kind of keeping it true to yourself, I respect it a lot. That's dope.
Yeah, yeah. We've kept it small. Kept it small.
So kind of on the back end of the podcast here, is there anything that you personally want to add about ethics?
No, I think this is truly exciting. This is inspirational. Like I said, ethics is an inspiration of mine, inspiration of like what I want to do because I want to put out my own shoe into the space. But also too, it's all about me creating for me. That's really
Yeah,
what ethics is all about. That's what I've started with. That's how I continue to tell people. It's like I want to bring it to the space of like everybody being able to wear ethics. But right now, currently, like what I'm focused on is like just putting out my own shoe and continue to do that. And it's like the more and more people we can kind of get on board with, what we're doing. And they say, hey, we want to be able to, see our athletes in them. And then like, then it'll kind of, be like a snowball effect with getting other players and other athletes and maybe even other sports,
yeah,
to be able to wear the shoes and wear the brand. So,
yeah. That'd be
nah,
dope
I'm just thankful for the the space to be able to talk about it, obviously, but then also too, it's like just excited about where ethics is going, what we're gonna continue to do, and continue to build the best product that's out there. So, nah, excited about more and more people seeing what we have going on, and stay tuned, got a lot in store.
for sure, for sure. Well, with that being said, guys, I'm excited to see where Ethic goes. I'm bought in. I'm invested. I hope you guys also are very invested in the story. It's very interesting to see just the whole process and how much really goes into it. Because I don't think a lot of people like really truly understand the behind the scenes of what goes into a brand and sneakers. So it's kind of cool to get that backstory.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Episode 2 of Kicking It with LG. See you guys in the next one. Deuces.